I will. Can you start speaking now, please?
A few years ago, I visited Paris with some friends. We had a long list of things we wanted to do and places we wanted to see, but the most important one for all of us was Notre Dame de Paris. If you've never heard of it, it's a large church or cathedral. It was designed by the famous architect Maurice de Sully. He was a famous bishop. We read so much about it in our tourist guides before we arrived, and the photos of it were spectacular, so we decided we had to see it. There were lots of other things we planned to do, so in the end, we decided to go there on the last day of our holiday. We took the subway from our hotel, and when we arrived and came out of there were lots of other things we planned to do, so in the end, we decided to go there on the last day of our holiday. We took the subway from our hotel, and when we arrived and came out of the train station, we couldn't believe our eyes. In front of us, on the other side of the road, was this enormous building. It was absolutely stunning. The stained glass windows, the columns that rise up in the sky, and the stonework are unbelievable. The building is still under construction, but it didn't spoil the experience at all. Unfortunately, there were also hundreds, maybe even thousands of people who all wanted to get inside to see the interior, and we decided not to queue to
All
get
right.
in.
Thank you. We've been talking about the subject of buildings, and I would like to discuss this subject with you with some more general questions relating to this topic. First, do you think it's important to save old historic buildings?
Of course, yes, I do. There are lots of beautiful old buildings where I live that were built over 100 years ago. They include lots of public buildings that have closed down and are no longer used. Quite often, these get knocked down and replaced with modern office buildings or car parks. I think it would be better to try to save them, if possible.
Are modern buildings as impressive as those built in the past?
I think a lot of them are. The older buildings are usually built with bricks, with lots of carvings on the outside, whereas modern buildings tend to be made with glass or more modern materials. That's the fashion today, and in the future, I think people will think they look as impressive as older buildings look now.
What kind of buildings are most memorable?
Huge buildings, like cathedrals, always have a big impact on people. I think cathedrals in particular, or other religious buildings, are always very impressive because the architect spent a lot of time making them look beautiful inside and outside.
To what extent do the buildings in a city give its character?
To be honest, I don't know. I haven't traveled a lot, but I have seen photos and videos of cities around the world. Some cities seem very modern because they have lots of new shiny buildings. However, other cities like London or Paris have far more older buildings that make them feel more historic. So yes, I suppose buildings are important in that way.
Why do tourists tend to spend so much time visiting important buildings?
When you visit a new city, especially in a different country, it's our chance to see famous places. Some people go because it's something they feel they have to do. It's like a list of things they have to see. But other people will visit a building because it's something they have really looked forward to seeing with their own eyes.
What makes a house a home?
I don't think it's the building that makes a house a home. Some people live in very small apartments and others in large houses, but they are all homes. It's what people do inside that is important. If it's warm and cozy with photographs of the people we love, I think a place will feel like home.
Thank you. That is the end of this speaking test.